Hi, I'm Eva Murphy from Electronic Engineering at IT Sligo, and this is my Leaving Cert Maths Grinds channel. I'll regularly add new videos for both higher and ordinary level maths, so make sure you subscribe below and click the bell icon to be notified of new videos. Okay, 2018 question 4, the coordinate geometry, the circle question on the Leaving Cert ordinary level was as follows. The points A18 and B90 are the end points of a diameter of a circle W as shown in the diagram. Find the coordinates of the centre of W. Okay, so they've given us 2 points, A and B, and they've asked us for the centre. Okay, so this question comes up a little bit. Know that the centre of that circle is halfway between the ends of a diameter. Okay, so what you'll find in the circle chapter is that you end up using this page, the coordinate geometry, the line page, a lot, because in the circle there are lots of lines. So that's a line. We use the midpoint to find the centre. The radius is a line, which is halfway, or it's the length of the line between the centre out to the edge. We use a tangent is a line, so there's a lot of the line in the circle chapter. So anyway, to find that, we will use the midpoint, x1 plus x2 over 2, y1 plus y2 over 2. And the midpoint formula is no more than find halfway between the x values, find halfway between the y values. Okay, so we label our points. I'm just going to x1, y1, x2, y2, and we put them in. So we have x1, which is 1, x2, which is 9 over 2, comma, y1 is 8, y2 is 0 over 2. So 9 and 1 is 10 divided by 2 is 5. 8 and 0 is 8 divided by 2 is 4. Okay, so I'm getting the center of that circle to be 5, 4. And that's that first part. And that could be worth as much as 10 marks in your exam. So make sure you know that if you're given the endpoints of the diameter, the center of that circle will be the midpoint. Find the length of the radius W. Okay. So that's the radius, or that's the radius. They're all both radii. So the length of it, you could go from the length GTH of 5, 4 out to A, which is 1, 8. Or of course you could go the length of 5, 4 out to 9, 0. Or of course you could get the length between 1, 8 and 9, 0 and divide it by 2. Okay, that last one is getting the length of the diameter. And of course I divide it by 2 because the radius is half the diameter. So any of them would give me the length of that radius of that circle W. Okay, so I'm going to, for no reason at all, just get the length between A and B and divide it by 2. So it's the square root of, so it's this one here I'm using, the length of a line, x2 minus x1 plus y2 minus y1 squared. Okay, I have the points labelled above. So x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Okay, so hit the square root sign on your calculator and put all that in for yourself. So 9 minus 1 is 8 squared plus 8 squared. And I am getting 8 root 2 for that. Remember, I did the diameter. So divide that by 2. So hit just divide by 2 on your calculator. And you'd see the third doesn't get divided by 2. So it's just the 8. So half of 8 root 2 is 4 root 2. So that's the length of my radius. And then it says hence. So hence means I must be using some of the information from the part before or even 2 parts before. So hence, write down the equation of the circle W. Okay, so if you scroll on one page in your log tables, you will see that there is an equation of a circle. The center is called HK. The radius is R. So in other words, in order to get the equation of a circle, I have to know the center of that circle and the radius of that circle. Okay, which is why this part asked you to find the center, this asked you for the radius, and now they're giving you a hence. Okay, so take down your formula for the equation of a circle. So x minus h to be squared plus y minus k to be squared is equal to r squared. Okay, your center is hk. So remember our center was 5, 4. So he's my hk and my radius is 4 root 2. Okay, and you fill them in, x stays x like it does in any other equation. So x minus 5 to be squared plus y minus 4 to be squared is equal to bracket 4 root 2 squared. Okay, why is that in a bracket? Well, if you wrote that down, what your calculator does is squares this bit, and root 2 squared is 2, multiply it by the 4 to give you 8. Okay, 4 root 2 squared like that means the 4 is squared and the root 2 is squared. So you'll still get 2 for him, but you'll get 16 for him. So you'll get 32. So be careful. Your calculator follows the rules of BOMDAS, which is why they squared this piece first before multiplying it by the 4. This in brackets, that's your B of BOMDAS. So the whole brackets get squared. Okay, so your calculator is programmed to follow the rules of BOMDAS. When you're leaving the equation of a line, when you're leaving the equation of the line, you just work out the r squared and you don't touch the left-hand side. Okay, so that is your answer there. That is the equation of that circle W. Okay, find the equation of the line that is a tangent to the circle at A. Okay, so my bestest drawing, I'm going to draw that tangent. Okay, not too bad. Okay, find the equation of the line that is a tangent to the circle at A. Give your answer in the form ax plus by plus c is equal to 0. Okay, so a tangent is a line. So basically this is saying find the equation of a line. Okay, so from your coordinate geometry, the line knowledge, you know that to find any equation of a line, it's y minus y1. Okay. Okay, so that's definitely what I'm going to use. To be able to use it, I need a slope and I need a point. Okay, do we have a point on that tangent? We absolutely do. We have A. So A is the point, 1, 8. So that's going to be our x1, y1. Do we have a slope? Because we need a slope. Do we have the slope of that line? No, we don't. Okay, but there's a theorem on your course, if you have geometry done, that a tangent to a radius will always form right angles there. So in other words, that tangent is perpendicular to the line AB. Now remember the relationship between perpendicular lines? So for perpendicular lines, okay, that's a math symbol for perpendicular, and it saves me having to write it out, okay? So if I have a slope of one line, I turn the slope upside down and change sign. Okay, so in other words, what does that mean in this context? Okay, so that's the piece of theory you need to remember for perpendicular lines. It means that if I'm to get the slope of this line, it would be nice if I had 2 points on it, because then I could just use the slope formula. That one from the log tables, okay? But of course I don't have 2 points. I only have A on that blue line, that tangent that I've drawn, okay? So I'm not going to be able to use the slope for that line. However, I can get the slope of this line, and if I turn that slope upside down and change the sign, I then get the slope of the line perpendicular to it. Okay, so that means that first I need the slope of AB. Okay, and of course I could use 5,4, I can use 5,4, or I could use 1,8, or I could use 9,0. Any of those points will give me the slope of AB because they're all what's called collinear or on the same line. So A is the point 1,8, B is the point 9,0. And maybe I'll just explain why I pick AB here and here when I was doing my calculations, okay? So the reason I picked those points is they're the points given to me in the question, okay? So I know they're right. If I use the center, I'm a little bit reliant on this being perfect. Okay, so when I have an option, I tend not to use my previous answers. I use the points they give me in the question because then I know I'm not using my own mistakes, I suppose, if that were the case, to work out another piece. So that's why I'm using AB. So that slope, again, from the slope, I don't have to know any of these formulas off by heart. They're all there in the log tables, page 18, 19. Slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So x1, y1, x2, y2. Okay, so that slope then is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I'm getting minus 8 over 8, I believe, which is a slope of minus 1. And that looks right because from left to right, that slope is coming down. So I'm not too surprised then to see a minus 1 in that case. Okay, so the slope of the perpendicular then. So therefore, slope of the perpendicular, which in this case is the tangent, is, well, minus 1 is over 1. Okay, any whole number we can put over 1. Turn that upside down and we still get 1. And change the sign. Okay, so which means if that has a slope of minus 1, the slope of the tangent to it, or the line perpendicular to it, is plus 1. Okay, so this helps us out here. Now I can go y minus, my y1 is 8, is equal to my slope 1 over x minus x1. Okay, so I've subbed in m is equal to 1 for that line and my point 1,8. Okay, so y minus 8 is equal to 1 by x is x, 1 by minus 1 is minus 1. Merge the two numbers, y is equal to x minus 1 plus 8, y is equal to x plus 7. Okay, so I naturally, and it depends on how you normally leave your answers, by default, I normally leave my answers as y equals mx plus c. So that particular form, it's just the order I give my answer in. There's y. You see my slope is 1, okay? And that's where it would cut through the x-axis or the y-axis if I was to plot it. But this blue line I underlined here means the order they want the question in. So they want the x's first, then the y's, then the c equals 0. Okay, so I have one more line to write. They want the x's first, then they want the y. So I'm going to bring this y over here so that it becomes minus y. And then they want the number. Well, that number is already over here. So it's a plus 7 equals 0. Okay, so that's in the form ax plus by plus c is equal to 0. Okay, if you wanted, you could have gone here, y minus 8 equal minus x plus 1 is equal to 0. So in other words, bring everything over to the left-hand side, okay? And then you would get your answer as minus x plus y minus 7 is equal to 0. And of course, you can change your answers all the way across to give you the same answer that I got here in blue. So it doesn't matter how you do that in part. All of these are acceptable answers. That's an acceptable answer. That's an acceptable answer. So is that, and so is that. It is just different orders of how we're giving our answer, okay? Sometimes they specify the order they want it in. sometimes they don't. So these are the two orders they generally specify as how they want their answers if they specify an order. If they don't specify an order, you can give it in whatever form you like.
If you are interested in technology or engineering, but are not doing higher level maths, why not consider our Level 7 in Electronic and Computer Engineering? This is a 3-year programme that looks at the design and development of embedded electronic systems. These are the medical devices that keeps us healthy, the consumer devices that keeps us entertained, or the controlled systems that keeps us safe on the road. You can then progress on to the Level 8 in electronics and self-driving technologies, and from there to the Masters.
Check out the link below for more information.